Good morning, everyone. Today is May the 14th, 2021. This is StockCast, your pre-market show. My name is James Mason, and Todd Derby will not be with us any longer. I'm just kidding. He won't be with us today. So apparently he has a life that he has to do things in, and it just doesn't always revolve around stocks. Loser. All right, so pre-market, we are currently up 115 points on the Dow futures, up 22 points on the S&P 500. And in today's video, we're going to talk about Disney and their earnings, Tesla not going to be using Bitcoin for a while, and Coinbase adding Dogecoin to their platform. So let's go ahead and get into it. And for those who are just tuning in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give me a like and drop a comment for the algos. So let's go ahead and pull up a chart. All right, so Disney announced earnings yesterday, and they actually did pretty well, but they got decimated on the charts. You can see where that 5-minute candlestick is, and they just got hammered. Yesterday it closed out at 178.34, and today pre-market at this moment we are currently at 170.76. So Disney pulled back pretty hard yesterday and had a little bounce here. Going into today's market, I mean, we could potentially see a little bullish bounce, but overall, coming off of earnings and a significant move downward like this, don't get fooled. Don't get fooled thinking that this is just going to bounce and then just keep on doing what it's been doing for the past few months. The market didn't like their earnings, even though that they were well, and you have to think of all the macro events that are taking place right now with still the pandemic stuff, inflation, labor shortage. All those things are coming into play, and good news now equals bad news and vice versa. So we'll have to keep an eye on Disney, and we will be looking at this to the short side in the future. But again, I personally think today will be just a little too soon to try to jump into this. We probably will again have that bullish bounce on the charts. It's kind of hard to tell where it will go up to, but what I'll be looking for is let this Friday close out. Hopefully it closes out green, and then come in next week, see where it's opening up at. And if it opens up, let me draw a line real quick. We'll draw a line off this low right here. So it opens up below 168.94. Come next week, that's the range that we'll be looking for to take a short position in, and probably just try to nail it really, really quickly. Some put contracts and try to write it down to that 160 range. So that's what I'll be looking for in Disney coming up here in the near future. So moving on to Tesla. Tesla announces that they're going to hold off on using Bitcoin. So we know a few months ago that Tesla here, they bought, I believe, $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and they just announced that due to how Bitcoin is mined, they're not using. I mean, they're mining it using too much energy. I love Elon Musk, but let's not act like we don't know the process for mining for lithium, for the batteries that they need. That I just think it's stupid. I think it's silly to try to take on this hero little image and to just be like, hey, we're not gonna use Bitcoin right now. We're gonna hold off because Bitcoin uses up too much electricity to mine itself. They need to change their infrastructure to be more environmental friendly. It's just silly to even take that stance when the process for mining lithium is a far greater of an economic impact than that. So if you've been keeping up with the Bitcoin market, and we'll take a look at that really quick. Stand by. So if you've been keeping up with it, you can see that, when it was announced, that's when it started getting all this choppiness. And let me turn off this indicator really quick. That's when it started getting all this choppiness. It pulled back, and we've now since taken this bullish bounce on a 5-minute chart. But if you look at it on the daily chart, you can see it's creating this channel right here. I'm going to draw some lines out for us. So it has created this channel, and this is probably where we're going to play in between $52,528 and down to $45,795. So we're probably going to bounce around back and forth in this channel. We may break above it, but me personally, I don't trade crypto, but a chart is a chart, and charts don't lie. If it does break above this 52,528 range, I don't really see it really bouncing too much up into this channel, but I do see it coming back down. And what I'll be looking for in the future is what it does as it actually breaks below this 45,795 range to kind of see where it's going to go down to. I believe it will potentially come down here, touch this 200 EMA, and then that's when it will bounce. So in this lower $40,000 range. And then I would like to think that we could bounce back up to that low 50,000 range. So we're talking about a 10,000 point potential for profit. Obviously, if you're not holding full coins here, it'll be a fraction of that. So this is just something if you're trading crypto to kind of just keep an eye out for, and it's going to be caught up in the whole Elon Musk saga, and as he tweets about Bitcoin and Dogecoin and what other coins he ends up talking about. So looking at Tesla as a whole, we'll hit it with some lines right here really quick. All right, so currently for Tesla, we closed out yesterday at 571.69, and we are currently at 583.60 pre-market. So what I would wait to look for, and I don't really trade Tesla much. Hold on. Just looking at the chart real quick. All right. I really don't trade Tesla much. I did trade it back here in this drop, but it was just a few put contracts. But what I'll be looking for is to see how it's going to just play around in this range between 532 and 508. I do believe that we'll see a little bullish bounce. It breaks back above. Sorry, I might have said 508. I meant 608. I do see us kind of having a little bullish bounce here, breaking back above 608, potentially coming back up here to test 657. But overall, I think Tesla is going to get rejected here in the future. I say over the next few weeks, and then really pull back. Now, once it gets to the point of really pulling back, that little doom breakdown zone, the range that I'll be looking for, I'll be looking for Tesla breaking below 532.22 here on the chart. Now, if this setup works out just like that, where we have this little bullish bounce, and then say a few weeks to a month, it comes back down and breaks below 532, Tesla, there's a good chance that this thing is going to sell down here into these lower 400 ranges, and that is what I will be looking for overall to start accumulating a few shares here in the future, just to hold a long position going into the end of time. That's just me personally. I just want to get some Tesla shares, but I don't want to pay for this range up here. So that is Tesla, and that is what I'll be looking at over really the next month. Now, last but not least, Coinbase. So we do remember Coinbase's IPO not too long ago, and just like most of the IPOs, we see it push up and then just get hammered. Now, yesterday we closed out at 265.10, currently up pre-market 13 points to 279. As you can see, this little dashed line right here. Now, overall, when looking at this daily chart, we don't have really enough data to start charting this out, but we do have a few candlesticks and what to look for here. So let me just hit it with a few lines. All right, so Coinbase announced that they're going to add Dogecoin to their platform to trade it. Now, I don't know what it takes, what it consists of to add a coin to your brokerage platform, but I mean, if you ask me, Coinbase, you are pretty daggone late to the game. Dogecoin done enjoyed its run. Now it's going to pull back, and by the time this gets set up and going on Coinbase, the Dogecoin hype is not going to be there anymore. You'll still have the Dogecoin fanboys trying to chase it, play with it, whatever, but that hype, the whole reason why they're putting it on their platform is due to the hype and the demand. It's going to fall off. That's just the way things work. But looking at Coinbase as a whole, what I would be looking for here, and again, when I say what I'll be looking for here, I'm just charting this out. I don't have any intentions of trading this, just because, again, I don't have enough data on my charts. Now, Coinbase is a major size company in the crypto world for their platform. So what I would need to see is, truthfully, Coinbase breaking back above 308. Again, we're at 279 pre-market, and I am talking a 20 plus point range of it moving up. But if you look here on the chart, we really don't break that change in bearish direction here until we actually break back above this 308 40-cent range. So this line right here, let me delete that one line. So we really don't break that whole downward trend until we actually break back above this line. So if you guys can see that on the chart. So that's what I'll look for if and when, I highly doubt I'll even trade this in the future, just because I don't like their options on it. But hold on a second. Trying to pull it up on another chart real quick. All right. I just want to take a quick look at their options again. I just don't really like their options. I feel like the premiums are just too costly, and for me, it's just not really worth that risk. But hey, to each their own. Someone out there may like that. So let me see what's going on in the comments. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see. Let's take a look at ticker ROOT. All right, let's do a quick update on the fundamentals here. So last update for short interest, 10.4 million shares being shorted, 19.5% of the float, days of the cover, 3.1. Outstanding shares, 86.4 million shares, and the float, 53. We'll just round it up to 3. So 53.3 million shares for the float. They have, if you look at the news, we've talked about this before. They're going through. There's a lawsuit coming out for them, but it's nothing significant. These companies, especially these smaller cap companies, there's all the time some BS investors lawsuit happening. So when I see that stuff in the news, that doesn't really faze me. But if you actually look at their news, I mean, it's just all over it. So we'd really have to dig into the news to get past all those headlines and kind of see what we have going on for ticker ROOT. But looking at it here on the daily chart and its current setup, we can see how much it is pushed down here. And what we want to see next is how this non-EMA, this white line, how it's going to respond to this $9.30 range. Now, I ain't talking about the candlesticks. I'm talking about the physical non-EMA on the daily chart. We want to see that non-EMA bounce off of that $9.30 range. And then once that non-EMA hooks back up and crosses back above 1040, for me, that's when I would look for that change in direction. So I'd wait for that physical non-EMA line to hook back up, cross back above 1040 before wanting to take a position here. And breaking back above 1040 with that non-EMA, we should probably, theoretically speaking, probably experience this thing pushing up pretty quickly 1 point up to about 1140. And then if that momentum would continue, break above these little lower highs right here, and we would have this full range on up to about the mid $13 range, as you can see on the chart. So we'd have that channel right here that we could easily fill up. So this is ticker ROOT, and just a quick breakdown on it. Now we do, again, there are a ton of shares being shorted. So this thing really could move, especially if they would drop a catalyst. So hold on, I'm just running through the comments really quick. All right, so it is a standard normal Friday. Like Forrest Gump said, life is like a box of chocolates. That's the stock market, especially a Friday in the stock market. And so far, news is very light, but I just want to hit Disney and Tesla really quick, and just remember, on Fridays, especially in a market like this, we are coming off of a bearish, the beginning of a bearish pullback. Keep that in mind. This is just the beginning. If you remember me speaking about this, I believe it was yesterday, and what I foresaw happening in the market. Here on the daily chart, looking at the S&P 500, we're talking about how this pullback's so hard for this few days, and how I expected just a bullish little bounce and then get rejected and to really shoot down. So with it being a Friday and this setup, I think there's some macro events taking place. The report today will be the retail sales numbers for April. I'm not sure if they were released yet. If they have been, I haven't looked at them. Haven't gotten any alerts for it anyways, but depending on how that goes, which good news could end up being bad news. That's probably going to be the catalyst that really puts an effect on this, and will determine if we're going to push up just a little bit more. But I do see us getting rejected somewhere in this range on the S&P 500, and it breaking down and then really coming down here hard to test this 200 EMA line. So don't get faked out, guys. Don't get faked out until it creates new highs. So that is what I want to see overall for the market. And again, like we always say, smaller position sizes. Remember to trade safe and take profits when you have profits. So I appreciate y'all tuning in today. We're going to keep this one just a few minutes shorter. It's also kind of a little boring talking to yourself. So y'all rag Todd and tell him that he let the show down. All right, guys. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I will see y'all in the next one.